What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scythe. We are back again from Trove. How y'all doing today, folks? Hope you're doing fantastic, wonderful. Hope this video makes your day even better. Sorry that there wasn't a Trove video for a little bit there. I do tweet about it every time that I end up actually, you know, not doing an episode, but I know that also the last few episodes have kind of been a little bit all over the place. Maybe, you know, to some of the more hardcore fans, you would have noticed that I was in a little bit of a rush, honestly speaking. And that's just because I've been really busy with lots of real life stuff going on that, of course, I'll end up talking about in a vlog video sometime soon. But for the most part, today we're going to be spending our time talking about some of the crazy new features, if you can call it that the devs ended up talking about in their latest live stream. However, before we do that, I wanted to show you this, because I didn't actually show you Mercers Mountain in a video. I don't know why I completely forgot to actually show this off in the last PC episode. I had this stream here for a long time. I kind of ended up just sprucing up the old homestead and kind of changing things up around the time when I ended up fixing this and making this kind of, well, making the hub building a little bit more beautiful and a little bit more even as far as the blocks are concerned. But anyways, I ended up adding this stream a while ago, and then Merc started constructing this big, beautiful mountain right here. And he ended up kind of working it into his build, where now the river actually comes out of the giant frog head's mouth, because, you know, Merc's character, he always uses the frog head and stuff, and it's kind of like an ongoing joke that he's like Kermit, right? So, as you come into here, it's actually a really cool build. I really like it. Like, it's really sick, because it's kind of like a pirate cove, which, I mean, I just like pirate builds, you know? That's why, like, my good friend Lord Scythe and the Vile Scallywag club of his, it's such an amazing build. Like, seriously, if you're on PC, I'd recommend that you check it out. But he's got all sorts of really funny signs and stuff, like stop reading my mind from this little character right here. Candy characters, I think, is it this one? I'm trying to make my way in the world, but my crippling addiction to peanut butter is hindering my sales, because he's eating it all himself, right? And generally, it's just really cool. You can kind of go around this area and kind of check out all the houses, and then in roleplay, you would climb up the ladder, and there's another little house right here. I think you can actually climb into this one. Yes, you can. And then just the characters themselves are all funny and stuff. Spiraling staircase right here, which doesn't really work for Trove, but it works in roleplay. And then what I particularly like about the build is it coming outside. That's one of the things that I always love with mountain builds, is when they end up actually coming outside, and then it comes up here. And I just want to point this out, because I know that a lot of you that are just tuning into the series might not know, but this right here, this tree has significance, because this, for those of you that have checked out the earlier episodes, this is the original spawn point of the Team Pixel Club when I made it a couple years back. And then down there, where the hub building is now, was actually where Newbie and King Andrew Doe ended up actually constructing kind of a castle. And then I kind of rebuilt over that over time, and so on and so forth. And then I built the giant sky whale as my first major big build. And then Tiny Town right here. I always liked the idea of having a huge city, so that's kind of why it expanded over there. But back to the Merc build. Whoop, there we go. I'm still trying to get used to the fact that we can roll a lot faster on PC, because for a couple years it was on a longer cooldown, and now we can actually travel a lot faster, right? So this is a really cool idea for a bridge build. These props, you actually fall straight through though, so just keep that in mind. Merc's house is actually supposed to be that one right over there, and then we've got our hanging house right there. And then if we come to the top, that's where it gets particularly beautiful. Hi, Critter, because this is kind of like, you know, a nice garden where you just get to meditate and hang out. And I've been trying to do a lot of my fishing here, which, by the way, folks, just because I haven't talked about that more specifically, this building's broken, Merc, is that I'm probably going to actually resort to doing a live stream sometime within the next couple weeks. I've got Scarlett visiting right now, so you know, I'm busy with that. That's my main excuse why I haven't done any live streams in a while. But I want to, when I'm feeling particularly up to it, do a 24-hour live stream if I can. And, you know, it's not like, it's kind of a soft goal, but fishing. which means that stream is gonna suck, man. Like, it's gonna be so boring. No one's gonna be into it at all. But, you know, if you want to come hang out and support me during that, because you know, that's the last thing that I'm missing right now is my fishing badge. And honestly speaking, it's like, because I'm so busy with creating videos and content and stuff like that, I don't think that I'm going to ever end up having enough free time to end up actually grinding up my fishing badge. And I need to, man. I really gotta grind it up, because that's the only thing stopping me from being maximum mastery. And the megalithic update seems like it's right around the corner, and well, I don't think that's going to end up bringing the mastery up to 500. 500 mastery is probably gonna end up being quite some time away, but you know, I talked about that in another video. Speaking of which, I'm not going to talk about megalithic today, most of all because I wanted to focus our attention on the Fae Trickster, folks. The devs have finally ended up not only confirming that they are reworking the Fae Trickster, but also that they're going to end up taking a look at the night afterwards. So what's actually going on with the Fae Trickster is they are completely reworking his class gem ability. Devs have said that they think the ability might be a little bit overpowered. Now I kind of understand why they would say something like that. But the ability itself is not, you know, it's not particularly flashy. It doesn't really sound cool, but it does actually sound very, very practical. So the way that it's going to work is, right now the Fae Trickster's class gem ability has it so that when you teleport, your clone that's created and normally aggroes enemies, that clone actually will rush up to enemies and explode, which doesn't really do well with the Fae Trickster because of the fact that the Fae Trickster is one of the only classes in the game that actually has a 3 times more damage buff so long as you don't take damage for a few seconds, right? So that goes away the minute your decoy kills itself, and then the enemies just aggro towards you. It just makes the, you know, that class gem ability is utterly useless. So what they're going to be doing is they're reworking it to being something more similar to Cubic Curtain. Now, if you're not near the end of the game, or if you don't really have any empowered gems yet, Cubic Curtain is an ability that's already kind of in the game. And what it does is it will negate damage that enemies do to you for 1 attack. So the class gem ability for the Fae is quite literally going to make it so that you can take 1 hit and keep your 3 times damage proc, and then you're going to end up taking damage. So you're going to end up being able to potentially keep that 3 times damage for a lot longer than normally possible, which is going to definitely make the class a lot more viable, because that means even right now, say we're here hanging out, I just got hit once, I would still keep my 3 times damage, which means that I could actually grind with the Fae, you know, in U9. We could actually do it, right? So that would actually be really, really cool. Again, we would be hanging out here doing our 3 times damage. We didn't even take a hit, but we don't have to be nearly as cautious. I'm just, you know, theorizing here, my good man, and saying if we were on the Fae right now, the fact that we can take that extra hit makes the class a lot more useful. I wouldn't say it's overpowered. Personally, I wouldn't say that it's overpowered, because honestly speaking, without the Fae Trickster having that 3 times damage proc, he's useless. His attacks are absolute trash. And that's exactly why his old class gem ability would end up breaking him, right? So now that we're going to end up having that, it means that the class is going to be playable, not necessarily overpowered, right? So in any case, the other thing that they've talked about with the character is they're going to end up increasing his damage in general. So he's going to see a little bit of a stat rework as well, which is going to be really interesting. Hopefully we'll end up making all of you Fae mains out there actually be able to play the end game with the Fae, because, you know, I don't mean to hate on the Fae or anything like that when I talk about this in these videos. I just want to make that perfectly clear, because lots of people always misunderstand and think like, oh man, he's hating on my favorite class, which, you know, personally, I don't care for the Fae Trickster. That's just my own personal style. I don't really care for fairy characters in video games. That's just me. But beyond that and my personal taste, the class itself is not really that good. You know, so now that they're actually doing this, That's great. We're going to be able to see it at the end game. And then on top of that, the devs confirmed in their live stream that they are going to end up reworking the Knight. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking about everything that we've been talking about lately about the Knight getting a rework, or not even a rework, rebuilt from the ground up. I honestly don't see it happening. I don't think that the devs are going to end up actually like starting and rebuilding the Knight from the ground up. Because as far as they're concerned, and I would think this way as well, but it's like, why would they bother doing something like that instead of just making a new character? Unless, of course, you know, the new class that they're working on, or not working on, they're not working on one, don't get overly hyped. But it's like, would it end up being, you know, taking away from that? Or would it be something really, really quick and easy that they could end up throwing together? So I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit more than just a rework of his stats. But honestly speaking, I'm fully expecting that that's what they're going to do. At the least, if they keep the Knight the way that he is right now, with his ugly animations and, you know, I love how small and adorable he is, but his animations are bad. That's the big reason why I say he needs rebuilt from the ground up. And most of all, his abilities are lame. Like, they're not really good, you know? They're cool, especially for considering, like, the early development of Trove, but you know, the abilities themselves, like the dash ability, is cool. It's not really viable unless you would dash through enemies, which he doesn't. He just dashes into the next thing that he hits, and then it stops that proc, the movement proc, I mean, of the damage, or of the dash. And then his Class Gem ability, where he just kind of jumps up in the air and does a whole bunch of damage, and it's very viable. It's actually a very powerful ability, and kind of shoots through all the enemies and stuff like that. But again, it's just, it's not cool, dude. It's not cool. So I'm hoping that they're going to end up reworking his Class Gem ability, maybe even just making it look better, because the stats on it are just fine. You know, the Knight is actually pretty powerful if you have proper gems and using the Class Gem ability. It's just that I personally don't really find it that exciting, especially compared to some of the other characters. Not to mention it locks your character in the animation of him jumping up in the air, right? So it becomes a little bit of a problem when suddenly, you know, you're trying to fight enemies or dodge and stuff like that, and then it's like, rip, your character ends up getting stuck in the animation, and then you end up taking damage, right? Uh-oh. People are starting to attack me for some weird reason. They're going crazy in the club chat. I don't know why, because I'm appearing offline. I'm recording a video, you freaks. No, but beyond that, most of all, what I would want to see is his ultimate getting reworked. Because that's one where, you know, it's just bad. Like, he pretty much even does the same animation as he drinks a flask, and then gets a flask effect of being invincible for a little bit. And it doesn't really have any place in this game. You know, it doesn't even let him be a tank, unfortunately. It's not like he ends up getting more damage based on, like, how much he absorbs or anything. Anyways, that's just, you know, that's just theorizing. That's just guesstimating what they're gonna actually end up doing with the Knight. But I'm just happy to report that they have confirmed they are going to end up reworking the Knight in general, right? So that's pretty much all I wanted to get out there, folks, and just kind of let you know. Again, there's lots of other stuff going on behind the scenes. Look at this, you know, I'll talk about it all in a vlog video and stuff, and generally I'll probably talk about it in maybe the next Trove video when we've got some stuff that's not as exciting as the Class Gem ability of the Fae and just the Fae getting a rework. I think that's absolutely awesome that they're starting to pay attention to some of the characters that need the rework. But in any case, this video's gone long enough. I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you that's been so kind and so supportive. You know, things have just been so crazy lately, and it's really awesome to have like a really killer community like all you folks. Another thing too that I just want to say in passing, because I talked about this when I had my video about the silver play button, if you didn't check that video out, is I have the link to my Discord channel in the description again. I took it out of the description for a little while. I'll explain that again in more detail in another video for the people that actually care. But my whole point being that you can join that Discord right now, absolutely free, and potentially we can hang out, but most of all you can hang out with each other and hang out with the community, just because as of right now I am still logging into the Discord, but I've been really busy. So I just wanted to make that point across, that I'm busy. I got lots of stuff that I'm working on. Most of the stuff that we've already talked about in plenty of other videos. It's just that now it's actually getting to the final phase of some of these projects. So I'm really excited to show you all and tell you all about it when I have the opportunity to, but as of right now, all we've got is just talking about the Fae. Thanks for watching though, everybody. Very much appreciated. For today, hey, why not? Let's actually give away the Fortress that I ended up getting a couple Troves of Wonder videos back. Fortress is going to be not only a big, beautiful dragon, he's actually one of my favorites right here. He's very, very beautiful, but he also actually does the most block damage in the game, outside of bombs, of course. And also, let me make sure the biome's closed. He'll actually shoot straight down and cause a whole bunch of damage to the environment. He's very, very useful for farming dungeons and stuff if you can't afford a million bombs like myself and most people at the end game, because you can just blast your way right into fighting the boss and everything. It's very convenient, right? So in any case, all you gotta do to qualify for winning this bad boy is hit that like button and leave a comment in the comment section down below with your username, and then we'll end up messaging you, letting you know how you end up getting it in game, and you gotta meet you know, one of us and figure it all out. So in any case, it'll be more in the description. Or not the description, the comment replying to your comment. Jeez Louise. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sayonara and stay epic.